Welcome back to Master Glass, everybody. By popular demand, I brought back in Bobby G Gleason. A while back, he did an episode for us on how he makes his hot buttered rum cocktail, and I received so many requests on how exactly you make your hot buttered rum batter. So today, Bobby's going to make the hot buttered rum batter. We're also going to make the hot buttered rum. While we're at it, of course, we have the ingredients, and then I'm going to kind of surprise you a little bit, and we're going to take this hot buttered rum onto a very strange spin. Bobby, thanks for coming back on.
Always a pleasure to be with you. Anywhere in the world, Livio. Anywhere in the world.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so, well, show us how you do it.
Well, what we're going to do first, to make that hot buttered rum, we got to make that batter. And I'm thrilled that your guest wants to know exactly how to make this. So what we want to do is we're going to start, you're going to get a nice sturdy bowl because we're going to need to blend in this bowl.
Okay.
And then you want to get a stick of butter and get that nice and soft.
Okay.
And then put that right into your bowl. Beautiful. Just comes right in there and
love it.
And so it's nice and soft. We have one stick of butter.
Okay.
And so we're going to add to that, we're going to add some brown sugar. Now you want the dark brown sugar and you want it nice and loose. And we have about a half a pound of that brown sugar here.
Okay.
That goes right in with the butter in our bowl. And then we're going to bring in our spices.
Okay.
Okay. First we're going to have 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Now this is what we would call a rounded teaspoon.
Got it.
You don't want to flatten off your teaspoon and your measure. Just a nice teaspoon right in to our bowl. And then a nice rounded teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Now you of course could grind a nutmeg by hand, but that takes a long time. So just buy the ground nutmeg right into our bowl.
Okay.
And that is also 1 teaspoon.
Okay, 1 and 1.
And then a half a teaspoon of ground cloves.
Gotcha.
And we'll add that in there. Now that's generally your recipe for hot buttered rum. But of course, when we're making it, we always want to add our own little personal touch to it.
I love it.
And for me, what I like, I'm going to go with a little bit of like a 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger.
Okay.
That'll go in.
1/4 teaspoon ground ginger.
And a half a teaspoon of ground allspice.
Okay.
One of my favorite spices. And that goes in. And then, of course, some vanilla. Okay. Now I'm using it's called a vanilla paste, but you'll see that it's nice and liquid. And we're going to pour in about a half a teaspoon. Okay. And if you like vanilla, you can go ahead and add some more if you like. It's not going to hurt anything, just to bring more vanilla flavor.
Okay.
So now we're going to use what is called, just your regular standard little blender, hand blender. It's a mixer.
Okay.
And we're going to mix this all together until we get a nice batter. You see we get the butter and the sugar. Now this could take 3 to 5 minutes to get a nice batter.
Okay.
All right, Livio, it looks like our batter's come together really nicely in our bowl. We'll take that blender out. Now we want to transfer this into a nice serving bowl or something that we can put a lid on. You want a bowl that you can put a lid on. One of those plastic containers are really great. And we'll just scrape that batter right into our bowl. Beautiful. Everything come together. Now the longer this sits in your bowl, the more all of those spices will marry together and just keep combining and getting deeper and richer in flavor.
Kind of like the next day soup?
Sure. So that's our batter.
Love it. All right.
So now we've got our batter made. Let's go ahead and make one of those hot buttered rum cocktails.
As we should.
So now much like, when we're going to serve, a martini or a Manhattan or a Cosmopolitan, we want to serve that in a cold glass. So with a hot drink, we want to serve that in a hot cup. So you fill your cup up with hot water, and that's going to heat up your glass. You want to make sure you have a tempered glass.
Okay.
Now, if you're at home and you don't have a tempered glass, or what we would call on premise an Irish coffee mug, a nice glass mug, you could certainly use your own coffee mug,
Sure.
World's Greatest Dad. I know you have one of those.
Of course.
So we'll go ahead and we're going to take what we call a heaping spoon. Now you can use a teaspoon. Here we're using a bar spoon. I want a nice heaping spoonful of that batter. 2 heaping spoons into our cup.
Okay.
And now what we're going to do is we're going to add some hot water, steaming hot water, and get that just above the level of that batter.
Got it. So right above the batter, right above the level of the batter should be the level of the water.
Sure.
So that you've had enough to liquefy.
Yes. What we want to do is see how that hot water is dissolving that batter, and that's going to get that incorporated into our cocktail, and that's what we're looking for.
Got it.
So we just give that a stir, and you see now that the batter is completely dissolved into that hot water. So at this point, we want to bring in our rum, and you know that I work for Beam Suntory, and the rum in our portfolio is Cruzan rum. And today we're going to be using the Cruzan single barrel. Now this is actually a blend of 5 to 12-year-old rums. And then that marriage will get poured into a brand new charred oak barrel and spend a period of time in that barrel. Henceforth, that's how it gets its single barrel designation. So now for us, we've been bartending for a long time. We know our pours. For those of you who are new to bartending, you always want to use a measuring device of some kind. A jigger, these little OXO measuring cups are great. Standard pour for me is 1.5 ounces. And so that's where I'm going to start, is with 1.5 ounces. Now, of course, if your cup is bigger and you have more volume, you can add a little bit more if you like to bring that balance in.
As is probably the case with this cup here. It seems pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I probably added an extra 1/2 ounce in there.
Okay.
And now I will top this up with our hot water. And you want that nice and steaming hot. And bring that up to your level that you want to serve it at. Give it a nice stir. And that is a Cruzan single barrel hot buttered rum. And try, Olivia. Tell me what you think.
Oh yeah, of course I will.
The aroma coming off of there is just great.
I mean, it's July right now, right? We're filming this in the month of July.
You
You
know,
would think this is the least appropriate drink, but this, actually the flavors, rum, spice, they just never go out of style.
Sure.
So
And
nice.
Yeah, for me, my personal ritual is I love to make this batter. I start the day after Thanksgiving. That way I can have that batter. I actually give these out as gifts for Christmas to friends, you know, because it's just fun. They'll go, here, put this with some rum and some water, and you're going to have a great time, you know.
Wow, nice, nice. Now, back in the day when you worked at the Bellagio, was this one of the recipes that they used, or how did that work?
It was very similar. And, you know, of course, Tony Abuganim, I was always inspired by him and his recipes. And he was the man who taught me. He said, you know, you've got that recipe and make it your own. If you're going to make something, make it your own. Not what we did on premise, because at Bellagio, we want consistency throughout the property. But for me at home, I wanted to make it my own and make it special, which is why I added the allspice and the ground ginger.
I love it. I love it. So here's what I'm thinking, okay? Here's what I'm thinking. Rum and spices, they are always good.
Sure.
Right? We are in the month of July, and so talking about a hot toddy right now might be slightly out of season, although I just drank it and darn, this thing is good. I'm thinking of just seeing what happens if we actually turn this almost into a tiki cold toddy sour. So I have a blender here because I'm doing a show right after this on a different cocktail, and I learned as I was preparing for that show that the blender was actually invented in Wisconsin,
Really?
which is where you're from.
That is my home
So
state, yeah.
I've got a Wisconsin gadget and a Wisconsinner, and I've got some rum and spices and fruits, and so we're gonna try something new here. I don't know what it will look like, but why not give it a shot?
What's the worst that could happen?
We throw it away.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Let's give this a shot. So,
Okay.
in my blender right here, I'm going to take, first and foremost, I'm going to put the ice. Why? Because I don't want to plop the batter in there, right?
Right.
So I'm going to take quite a bit of ice. Just throw it in here. I'm going to probably just go with that.
Okay.
I'm going to end up straining it over fresh ice anyway. So let me put the ice in as well, right there. This is just spitballing, Bobby G. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Put that glass right over there. Okay, so batter. We're gonna take the batter. I'm gonna take this measuring cup right here.
Okay.
I will take your 2 heaping spoons.
All right.
There's one.
See how versatile that spoon is.
Yes, it is.
It's right and left-handed.
Yeah. And then right about maybe almost 3 ounces, about 2 1/4 ounces of the batter, of the water inside the batter. And of course, it's going to start separating because well, it's not hot water. So,
Right, yeah, it's not melting
So
then.
we're gonna have to deal with that, which we will deal with. It's not gonna scare us, right? Okay. I feel like maybe I should batter it up just a little bit more. You know why? Because since we're gonna strain it out, we might as well give it, most of the flavor is coming
Sure, nice and rich.
from there. Okay, let's do that. All right, dump this inside here, just like that. Oh gosh. People at home are going to be cringing. Let's see what happens. All right, a nice little lemon. Why? Because, well, spice, rum, lemon, always a good way to go, right? And there we go. Set that right there. Put this right over here. And let's see what happens. Ah, there it is. So we have now ice, batter, lemon juice. Let's go ahead and give this a spin. You know what I like about this blender, Bobby?
What's that?
It's left-handed and right-handed.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, Livio, that's nice and thick. So I think if you added some rum to that.
It's not a bad idea. Let's do that. All right, we will do 2 ounces or 60 mils. There you go, just like that. And there you go, sir. Thank you. Let's give this another spin. Now it's getting nice and liquid.
Yeah.
So can you do me a favor and hold that like this?
All right.
Because I think what I want to do here is I want to kind of do this.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? You see what I'm doing here?
We're full. Oh, this is almost frappe style.
It is. Interesting. All right.
All right, I'll dump this over here.
Now, I know a lot of people don't like the stirring part of it. I do need to stir this. And so, yes, definitely need to. Goes over here. Because I have a lemon here, we could just do that. Put that just like that in there. And then I also have mint, because with a good, you know, rum style drink, it's always good to have a nice little mint top.
That's beautiful.
Just like that. And there we go. So tell me what you think.
It's good. The aroma's beautiful.
Okay.
I mean, the fresh mint and the lemon.
Somebody must have done a good job with the batter.
That's really good.
Let me try.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is
Wow.
really good. So we'll put the recipe up on the board as well for this, what are we calling it again?
The summer toddy.
The summer toddy. Well, thanks for coming back on the show, Bobby G. As always, I appreciate it.
I come back anytime, Livio.
Thank you, thank you. For all you out there, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit like and subscribe to Master Your Glass, where we will continue to give you more expert instruction for everyday consumption.